Eagles defense in tackles this year.
Well, came in the game with 118 tackles, 3 interceptions, gets in a little action rushing the passer, has 1 sack. So he's an all-around player.
First and goal for Cincinnati at the 10. They're not going to get it off. They're going to have to spend a timeout, and Blake does. Play clock was down to 1 after he had checked off at the line of scrimmage. The Bengals in front, 7-3, 12:56 to play in the second quarter. Get a shot of Union Terminal, Art Deco train station, completed back in 1933 and reopened as a museum center. That guy's waiting to be opened.
I don't know. There he is. He sees he's on camera. Wants a little exposure there. Not going to get it from the head, the shoulders up there.
First and goal, Cincinnati leading 7-3. And Blake to throw. Steps up. Through behind a wide open Carl Pickens. Right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's go to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Tom, no drop pass here. Green Bay knows if it wins, it's in far to his favorite guy, Sterling Sharp. 5th consecutive 1,000-yard receiving for Sterling Sharp. Packers on top 14-0. Let's take it back to Tom and Anthony.
Hey, that team has been playing really well. Thanks a lot, JB and Brett Favre to Sterling Sharp. I was down there in Tampa. In fact, the last game that I spent down in Tampa last year was against the Packers, and Sterling Sharp had an unbelievable game. They double covered him. I think they tried to triple cover him, but he still came away with, I think, 3 touchdown catches.
Well, Jeff Blake having to spend the second time out on this series inside the 10. Bengals lead 7-3.
This doesn't make sense. Both kids in Bengal outfits, and then the dad in a Dolphin shirt or a jacket. What is the deal here?
Well, yeah, I figure maybe that's a member of the Shula family. You have, pulling for dad and maybe brother. Not the case. Nonetheless, it's second and goal for the Bengals. Blake throws incomplete, looking for the tight end, Tony McGee.
Again, Jeff Blake having pretty good protection, having enough time to look the field over. As you mentioned, going to Tony McGee, but not able to complete that pass. And this is a big test for this offensive line of the Bengals. We talked about William Fuller, Andy Harmon, William Perry. One guy we didn't mention was Mike Flores, starting at the right defensive end position. Has 2 sacks for the year.
Yeah, got him last week in his first start.
Well, you had a guy that they got this offseason in Greg Townsend. Flores has taken over there for him.
Third and goal from the 10. Blitz coming. Blake throws in and out of the hands of Darnay Scott. It should have been the second Cincinnati touchdown.
Well, that's the second time he's had an open receiver down here. The first being Carl Pickens. Now he has Darnay Scott right here in the slot. Little swim move to get open there. Takes it right in the seam of the zone, and nobody there behind him, thrown behind him. There's really no way that he could make that catch, but he was wide open.
Doug Pelfrey on for the field goal try. Ball spotted at the 18, a 28-yard boot, and it is through the uprights. Pelfrey has hit 25 of 30 this season. Rich Kotite's team down 10-3. Well, earlier today, an article in the Philadelphia Daily News, Dick Vermeil, the former Philadelphia head coach, apparently is now interested in returning to the Eagles and the Pro Football Wars. Apparently, the former coach met with owner Jeffrey Lurie yesterday in a meeting that lasted more than 2 hours, a little better than 3 hours. Been a lot of talk about that here of late.
Yep, and originally Vermeil said maybe he didn't want to return, as we see the owner here in the box. Maybe he didn't want to return after really, basically I think it boiled down to burnout when he left the Eagle job, doing some commentary here for the last several years. But now, changing his tune, maybe that's changed the whole, the whole picture here involving the head coaching job for this Eagle football team.
Well, some have wondered if Vermeil would want to coach again, whether he would want to become the general manager of the franchise. And still a great deal of speculation, but at least we do know now that the two have met more than once. And apparently, if you read between the lines a bit, talk getting pretty serious.
Not only about the head coaching job, but with his work ethic, what kind of a toll would that take on Dick Vermeil if he, took the responsibilities of not only the head coach, but also the general manager?
Vaughn Hebron and Herschel Walker waiting on the kick from Lee Johnson. Walker from the 5. Out to the 30. Walker could go. He will go. One man to beat. Touchdown, Herschel Walker, a 94-yard return. No penalty flags on the field. Herschel Walker this season has a 91-yard touchdown run from scrimmage, a 93-yard touchdown reception, and now a 94-yard kickoff return touchdown.
He is amazing. And talking to Rich Kotite yesterday, he said he probably can still outrun every one of the Philadelphia Eagles football players. And right here, he just hits the seam. And there is no way anybody's going to catch this guy. I mean, it's amazing. We talked about it earlier. Here you have a 9-year veteran who's returning kickoffs, who's a running back, a blocking back. I mean, that's a lot. And he just continues to go and go. And he says, all I want is a championship ring.
Well, that is a career best in terms of a kickoff return touchdown for Walker. His prior long had been 93 yards. That one 1 yard better. This guy is still such a gifted player.
And I really believe he does not get enough credit for what he's done over the years. He's rushed for over 2,000 yards for 3 different teams. And right here you just see the speed of Herschel Walker as the team gives him a crease and he's gone.
Well, we mentioned the only other players in addition to Walker to have both a 90-yard rush and a 90-yard reception are former Redskin and Cleveland Brown Bobby Mitchell, along with Tony Dorsett, who accomplished the feat with the Cowboys. Walker also had a 97-yard return, but it was brought back due to a holding penalty earlier this year. So Herschel Walker is still making big things happen. Former Heisman Trophy winner. He's even danced in the Fort Worth Ballet. Member of the 1992 U.S. Olympic bobsled team. What can't this guy do?
I don't know, but I'm sure if he wanted to, as they fly back to Philadelphia, maybe could assist the pilot. Jump in that co-pilot seat. I'm sure the pilot would feel secure having Herschel Walker there.
And Rich Kotite told us that Herschel Walker is an example for every player that comes into the league in terms of physical and mental preparation.
Well, so many times, especially nowadays, you see a player that comes out of college, and you take Herschel and just the phenomenal college career he had. They've accomplished everything in the college and come to the NFL, and they think it's going to happen. We don't have to work. I've made an NFL football team, but this guy continues with his unbelievable work ethic.
So a 10-10 game. Short kick followed by Jeff Hill. Finally gets a gracious bounce and brings it shy of the 30 out to the 29. Vaughn Hebron again on the tackle along with James Joseph. Good game here so far.
Not bad as we see Jeff Blake leading this offense. And it was interesting talking to Jeff Blake, who was the number 3 quarterback with the Jets. He got waived. The Bengals picked him up. He was the number 3 quarterback here at the beginning of this year. And he says, I've just gotten an opportunity to show my skills. He felt time was running out on his career. He felt if he didn't play this year, that he probably would not be with the team next year. But he's gotten an opportunity, and he's taken advantage of it.
Give us to Harold Green, and he's out to the 32, met by Hager, along with help from Tommy Jeter. You brought up the name Andy Harmon. This is a homecoming for him. He's had a great year. Grew up just up the road in Centerville, Ohio, right outside of Dayton. A lot of family and friends have made the trip down the road.
I'm sure he had to get a few tickets.
Oh, yeah. And they don't give them away.
Nope.
2nd and 9. Quick hitter to Cothran. And he's out to the 38. It'll bring up 3rd and about 3. Well, It's time once again for our Aflac trivia question. And it is, who holds the NFL record for most selections to the Pro Bowl? The NFL record for most selections to the Pro Bowl. You have any idea who that might be?
I don't know.
You don't know. Well, you haven't known all year long. It doesn't surprise me. 3rd and 2. You sure you don't know?
I think I might know. I think I've heard about it once or twice.
3rd and 2. Short drop. Far side. Caught by Pickett. First down. Cincinnati. Mark McMillan beaten on the coverage.
Well, one thing this Bengal offense has done here in this first half is mixed it up really well. The play selection has been really nice. They've been running the football, a little play action, a little boot, out, getting Blake out of the pocket. And right here, he steps right up quickly, throws the ball in a hurry. And those are tough to defense against. It puts a lot of pressure on the defensive linemen trying to get the pressure. Puts especially a lot of pressure on the cornerbacks.
Blake again to throw. And again, he's going deep for Pickett. And it's overthrown. And it is intercepted by Greg Jackson. His 6th interception this season.
Well, we talked about Greg Jackson earlier. Coach Kotite believes he has played like a Pro Bowler right there. As you said, gets his 6th interception.
Fox crew wishing holiday greetings throughout the day, and what a terrific crew and a real honor and pleasure it's been to be with them all season.
I'll second that. They have been tremendous.
Well, if they've made us look good, they're doing real well.
Especially me.
1st and 10. And to the far side. And now running backwards. This could have been about a 9-yard gain, then about a 2-yard loss. And Fred Barnett finally able to get back across the 15 and pick up about 5.
It wasn't like he was hit so hard he forgot which direction he had to go. Right here you see Fred Barnett on Rod Jones. A cushion given by Rod Jones and a nice spin move to the inside, but all of a sudden he starts taking it back the other way, and John Copeland has a chance to make the tackle. And he says, I better get back going the other way, and he does. Man.
So it ended up being a gain of 6. 2nd and 4. Go to the ground. Spinning off a tackle is Hebron. And he's out close to the first down. Needed to get to the 22. Darrell Williams there to meet him. Copeland could have stopped him in the backfield.
Hebron did an excellent job getting away from a guy you just mentioned, John Copeland. Should have had him back there for a loss, but he did not make the tackle. As we look at it, right here is John Copeland getting back there, defeating the block by James Joseph. But Hebron did a nice job getting past him.
Good enough for a first down. Brister steps up, throws down the right sideline, has a man wide open. And the catch is made by Calvin Williams to the 25.
Calvin Williams runs right by the defensive back, and Bobby Brister just puts it up. Nice play, as you see right here. Plenty of protection. You see Lester Holmes taking Big Daddy around the corner there. And he is just wide open. Coverage by number 23, the rookie Corey Sawyer out of Florida State. But Calvin Williams is a good 3-4 yards behind him to make the reception.
A 53-yard gain. Brister to Williams. 1st and 10 at the Bengal 25. Hebron down to the 22. He's met by Tovar and McDonald.
Well, we still have 7:48 left in this first half, and we've seen plenty of big plays. Hey, both these offenses have come out and are airing it out. They're going downfield. The heck with those short passes. The dump offs, they don't want any of that. They're going downfield. They're saying this is the last game for both teams. See right here, the Eagles with, 12, and Eagles right there behind them with 7.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 8. Hebron again. And he's to the 18, and James Francis there to greet him. So to bring up third down for the Eagles, it's a 10-10 affair, closing in on 7 minutes until halftime.